So I'm assuming now that those of you watching this video have watched the therapy video itself, and you may remember that the therapist was posing questions such as but if spirit doesn't like what you're doing, then spirit may put up resistance. And it's kind of interesting with the wording, because what she's obviously doing is she's under the assumption and the beguilement and hypnosis that the ego, the body, is the actual self, when there's no self in the body. The body's the body is my body, the mind is my mind, the ego is my ego. And so for her to refer to spirit as something other than me, it just shows the level of discipline and education. What I mean by discipline, she's been trained in a certain discipline. She's been disciplined into a realm to consider that the mind and the ego is the self, when it's not. And so the difficulty being then, I'm speaking with somebody that doesn't even know who she is. And so what hope do I have of having her being able to assist me in any meaningful way? Because I think it would be fair in saying that she's not versed in the depths of the spiritual realm, nor the religious realms. And when I speak of God and devil and things like that, she, I would think, would be an atheist, doing what she's doing, you know, beguiled and manipulated and indoctrinated by certain programs. You know, the universities are all owned by the people that own the pharmaceutical companies. They own all these things, and so they're all facets of the same thing. They're all facets of the same diamond, so to speak. And so if you step outside of that, like any of us that want to take entheogens, which are illegal and you can go to prison for many years if you take them, what on earth is going on? Like mushrooms, you pick mushrooms from the ground, and if you eat those, then they can put you in prison for doing that, when it's never ever been heard of that these mushrooms would lead you to causing anybody any damage. You're not going to be doing anything to anybody, and you're not even going to be putting yourself in any danger, and yet they want to put you in prison for that. So we can only conclude then it's not for our safety, because there's no safety issues involved. It's for their fucking safety, so we don't all become awoken, enlightened, and see through their bullshit. So we look at this contrivance and we go, oh my god, the world is obviously run by demons. Literal devils, people. The world is run by literal devils. So, psychiatrists and psychologists, they come under the same banner as everybody else who comes out of university. They're all trained to serve the beast. And so when I'm speaking to my therapist about the spiritual realm and the higher state of consciousness, which she knows nothing about, then she can't help. And so this is why you can see that she's desperately trying to bring me back from my flights into metaphysics and philosophy and psychoanalysis and the spiritual realm. She wants to bring me back because there's only one realm that she can deal with me within, and that's the realm that she's trained within, and that's this the variety of therapy that she's doing, the FSI, family service institution, family service, something like that. It's to do with the characters and the roles that we play, and the energies that we gather along with us. So, for instance, if you was brought up and one of your parents was, abusing you in some shape or form, then there'd be a part of you which would hate that parent, and that part of you would be an actual manifestation of energy, and it could even have a name or a character about it. And so it's these characters and personas that she's wanting to address. But you see, she doesn't know anything about the spiritual realm, what we really are, so she can't address that one. So all she can do effectively is be attempting to give me some sort of a remedy, I suppose. In actual fact, she's not even offering any remedy. She's leaving it entirely to me, because she says to me, do you want to, do these things? And I'm like, well, who's me? Who are you referring to when you say "do you"? You see, she doesn't understand that concept either, I don't think. I said, I'm Legion. There's myriad of spirits that are residing in this body. And from her perspective, she could start to have, pop-ups in her head, which are going to make her look for or be much more open-minded into the realms of schizophrenia when people speak like that. But as I've been saying to her, I said, look, for instance, there's these characters within me. You're asking me to speak about these characters, and yet you don't seem to be an adherent that these characters are actual spirits. They're actual entities. They're actual manifestations within the human form. They're not just thoughts in our head. Thoughts are things. Thoughts are spirits. Spirits generate thoughts. Where do our thoughts come from? Nobody has got a single clue. And so how can anybody just go, oh, they're just thoughts, when you don't know what the fuck they are? It's like consciousness, oh, that's consciousness. What is consciousness? Nobody's got a single clue what consciousness is. And so nobody's got a clue what, I'm always labelling these things, aren't I? Consciousness, God, love, intuition, how you wanting? God, consciousness, intuition. Okay, let's say soul and spirit. We can incorporate all these different sorts of things, and then we can look at the notion of love. What is it? And anything really, people, anything. Because if you have, like what I've done, I've looked in the dictionary for many words. And when people say, oh, you should be more compassionate, well, I look in the dictionary and say what compassionate means, and it means pity and sympathy and stuff like that. And it's a case of, well, where does sympathy get us? How does sympathy serve anybody? How does pity serve anybody? How does compassion, if you have compassion, if you feel another person's pain, which isn't possible, by the way, but if you've had a pain of a similar variety, like if you've had your toe stumped, and then your kid stumps their toe, and then you have compassion for the pain that you envision they're feeling, okay. But what good is compassion? You go, oh, they're there, it'll be gone in a minute. Well, you could just say they're there, it'll be gone in a minute, without fucking compassion. Without, pretending that you feel the pain. You don't feel the pain. So stop pretending. That's what I'm saying, people. Stop fucking pretending this bullshit compassion. It means nothing. It means nothing. Just apply a Captain Spock rational thought to things. And if a kid stumps his toe, you go, oh, not worry, just concentrate on something else. And you'll be amazed, actually, that if you concentrate on ice cream or go and get that chocolate bar from the cupboard, then, oh, can I have chocolate? Then all of a sudden the pain in the toe's gone, innit? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, dudes? And that's the power of the mind. Just distract the mind. That's all we've got to do. And so that's what society does. That's what the powers that be do. They distract our minds from anything meaningful, which is concentrating on the core essence of ourselves, which is a misnomer because there's no self. The core essence is cosmic consciousness, and so it's just an isness, dreaming the dream. It gets difficult. So anyway, my therapist, she can't deal with speak like this, so she says to me, "What part of you, Aaron, keeps wanting to teach me, or to tell me these things?" And I'm like, "It's the part that thinks that you're supposed to know this shit. You're asking me about characters within me. Well, what about the character of cosmic God consciousness? What about the character of devils and demons? What about the character of God and angels? And what about the character of Jesus? What about these fucking characters? What about the Jungian archetypes? What about all those characters that you don't want to talk about because you've got no idea about them? You just want to talk about, so how does this one feel? And how does that one feel?" I told her I don't believe in the world. There's nothing, not a single scrap of it that I believe in. It's complete fiction. And then she says, "Well, if it's complete fiction, then what do you want me to do, basically? What are you doing here?" I'm like, fucking around, having an Earth experience. You're there as a facility available to me, free, so I may as well fucking take it. And I said to her, when she says, "What do you want from this?" I said, "Look, a different opinion. That's what I want, just a different opinion. Because then I can marry her opinions up with mine and see if they've got any value, see if I've missed anything. To see if there's light going to be shed on a realm which has remained in darkness, as far as I'm concerned." But even if she doesn't do that, then what she is doing is giving me the opportunity to bounce off a soundboard, because she asks me, where does this energy reside? Close your eyes and think of a colour, of a shape, of an image, and all this sort of stuff. Well, I told her that I'm a phantasiac, so I don't see any shapes and colours when I close my eyes. And she went, "Oh, okay then." So she knew what that was. And then when she says, "Close your eyes if you like, and then think of this and think of that." And then when I did that, I went more metaphysical again. And she says, "Oh, it seems you've gone into this, the spiritual realm again." I said, "Well, look, if you're asking me to close my eyes for more than about 20 seconds, I'm going to end up in a meditation, because my mind is so used to doing that for this past 16 years. And so the ego's being dissolved, and I'm, 100% in the spiritual dimension. And so that's all you're going to get. You're going to get spiritual speak." And so she says, "Oh, maybe it's not a good idea then to close your eyes in your instance. So keep your eyes open." So she's learning a great deal from this consultation, I'm telling you, people. So I have to look. I'm looking at what my options are, people, because having done this for 16 years, I wonder if I'm going to do it for another 30. I envision bailing out of this dimension when I'm 93. So, I've got like 31 years more, and I'm still fit and able-bodied, and it's a case of, well, do you want to keep moving in such small circles? That's the question I'm asking myself. But you see, one thing, there's lots of things, people. If we're going to be compromised by the Matrix, there's a great deal of thing. If I get compromised by the Matrix, I'm going to have my life stole from me. This particular life, okay, it'll be supplanted with another one, but do I want that other one? What does that other one look like? That's what I'm asking. What could I do out there in the world? I don't know. But what I'm asking my therapist to consider is, how am I going to do this in view of the fact that I feel like I'm an alien. I feel like I'm vastly more intelligent and spiritually endowed than 99% of these automatons walking around. How am I going to ever feel any different? How am I ever going to think any different? Or what sort of hypnosis do I have to do? That's the thing, you see. I know that I am going to have to self-administer my own hypnosis if I'm going to go back out in the world and be more forgiving and try and be loving and not hate every cunt that I bless my eyes on, which isn't strictly true. I don't hate, and it's not like I necessarily despise people. I don't know, I suppose in some respect I pity, and you know, the concept of pity is an abomination, because it means that you're looking down on everybody and, oh, you're such a pitiful, pathetic state. Yes, that's how I'm looking at the human being, doing all their stupid shit and being completely asleep and not having a thought of their own. Yes, I'm pitying them. And so I think probably investigating compassion is too close to the bone for me, because when we look at what compassion means, it means other words, and one of those words is pity, and that's exactly how I feel about the world. I think it's a pitiful state, and it always has been and always will be. The human being is pitiful, and I can't see any way out with any glory. I can't see any glory other than completely blanking it. You see, that's what all the spiritualists have told us through thousands of years. Blank the pity. Forget about the pitiful state of the world. It's fiction, it's Maya. Don't have anything to do with that. You're God, just love you. That's basically what it's saying, just love you. Just love. Just put yourself under hypnosis, because when we put ourselves under hypnosis, what people don't grasp, what they don't grow, what they have no comprehension of, to be quite frank, people, is this: that when all these spiritual books are speaking about Jesus and, you know, embody the love of Jesus and embody the Christos and love God and fear God and, you know, do everything for God and all this sort of thing. Well, if we just take away the semantics, take away Jesus, take away God, take away Allah, take away Buddha, take away take away all these fucking nonsense concepts, then what have you got left with? You've got a self-imposed, hypnotized state of conjuring up some sort of emotion which is pleasant, and it's not judgmental, it's not compromising, it's not projecting. It's just a state of acceptance, like the Buddhists say. Just accept, and if you just accept the world for what it is, then you won't feel no pity, you won't despise anybody or anything, you won't fear anything. You just say to yourself, well, I'm on a pitiful fucking planet, what can I do? Well, what they tell you to do is just go inside to your own mind and get rid of all the ego, get rid of this silly operating system which enables you to have this fiction. Just forget about the fiction and eradicate your ego from your mind, and just remain in the cosmic God consciousness of bliss. That's what they're telling you to do, people. How can anybody do anything? How can anybody achieve anything if that's all they're doing? You achieve the bliss, you achieve the notion of cosmic consciousness, the connection to everything, that you're one and all that, but what of it? It means you don't have no partners, you don't have no babies, you don't have no business, you don't have no holidays, you don't have no fucking hobbies, you don't do anything. Surely we've come here to do. That's what the whole purpose of the human being is. That must be what the purpose of this fucking genius imagination is, to have experience. But if you read these religious books, you won't have any fucking experience except love, love, love. Fuck love. You know what I'm saying? I say fuck love. It's a dead end. It's a fucking dead end street, people. Love is a dead end street. It means fucking nothing except nothing. That's what love means. Love means nothing. It means do nothing, it means feel nothing, it means think nothing, it means be fucking nothing. Because that's what they're asking you to do. Just love God, just love Jesus and nothing else. And when Jesus says in the Bible, reputedly, hate your father, hate your mother, just love God, well, I think there's a conspiracy afoot, don't you? I think there's an evil demon in the room some fucking where, to be honest, people. So, of course, what am I doing? I'm being a philosopher. I'm being a psychoanalyst. And I am looking at all these things. And I'm looking how they work. I'm looking what wizardry they create or attempting to create in the mind of any of the recipients of this information. And one thing that was really, really profound when I was just reading the 300th page in this way of mastery is the desperation of the levels of pursuance for cult members, just appealing to everybody, just go inside just for 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day and love Jesus, and then, you know, for another 10 minutes a day just pray to God and give your love to God, and it's all fucking hell. Talk about trying to get new recruits. You see, if they came from it from another angle, then I'd be in much more of acceptance of it. If they said, look, like it does, of course it's paradoxical, everything's a paradox, people, because in this book it's always telling the reader that we are God, and then it says pray to fucking God. Well, hang on, pray to yourself? What the fuck? If the cosmos is you, then what the fuck are you doing praying? What the fuck are you doing wishing and hoping and anything? You are it, so just fucking be it. You see, a vastly higher level of intelligence would broach this like I'm going to broach it now. Because out of all these bullshit books I've ever fucking read, they're all talking a crock of shit, because they're not the enlightened beings that they may consider themselves to be or try to impress upon people. They are not, because if they were, then they'd be saying something very, very factual. They'd be saying, look, this thing is spirit. It is like the mind of God, and it's dreaming, and we are avatars and we're being dreamt, and within the program to enable the dream to be remotely real, then we have an operating system called the ego. The ego is a fiction, so you can continue to be in the dream, and you can do all this stuff, and you know, you'll feel like you're living and you're dying and you're loving and you're hating and you're fear-based and you're joyous. You'll feel all these things if you buy into it, but that's all the ego. If you don't want to buy into that, then you can step outside of that, and then you can dwell in a cave or in a monastery or in a nunnery. You can do all that stuff, and then you just pray to the fucking pie in the sky if you want to, and you can live that variety of fiction. But any single way you traverse within this dimension is a fiction, people. There's nothing going on except fiction. So you can have the fiction of being a fucking pop star, a fiction of being an actor, a fiction of being a billionaire, a fiction of being a vagabond, a fiction of being any level of shit kicker. You can have all these fictions. You can be a fiction of a doctor, of a surgeon, anything. You just play whatever you want to play. That's what's going on here. And if you don't want to play any of those games, if you just want to throw the Monopoly board up in the air and go, fuck Monopoly, I don't want to play your stupid games, then you can do pretty well what I'm doing now. I'm just doing my thing. and I have certain compulsions and levels of angst and satiation, which drives this fiction of a human being to do certain things. It drives me to go to the gym, it drives me to walk in nature, it drives me to make videos, it drives me to practice to learn to sing, it drives me to play the guitar, it drives me to learn about other people's fictions. It's just one fiction inside a fiction inside a fiction inside a fiction. It's Russian dolls, people. Everything is Russian dolls. So what do you do when you've discovered that this is Russian dolls? Well, you choose what Russian doll you want to be within, don't you? And so what I'm saying is, what I'm going to see my therapist about, I'm playing it's called the analysand. Yeah, it's called the analysand. Well, I'm not actually an analysand, because an analysand is a person who's being analysed by the analyst. She's not an analyst, she's a therapist. And so she's not analysing me, she's not scrutinising me, she's not psychoanalyzing me, she's just asking me how I feel about things. What do you feel about this? What do you feel about that? To bring about a self-revelation. And then when you are aware of all the things that you're thinking and these characters that you've created, well, you're in a better position to be able to recognise them when they start to play roles, and you can say, hey, I don't want to play this role today. Like, for instance, if you've got a belligerent, angry role within you, and, you know, if someone says something to you, then the belligerent, angry role player comes out. Well, when you recognise that, you go, hey, has this belligerent role-playing angry fucking character served its course? Do I need that as part of my entourage of fucking play roles? Or, you know, can I sing another song? Can I bring another character forward? The contemplative, the forgiving, the loving, the understanding. I could bring one of those forward. What sort of a market would I have for that bullshit? How many of you would fucking be running away in an instant if I started coming out with those sort of characters? You'd go, what the fuck's happened to the Awake and Brave? He was my fucking rock. Now look at him, little faggot ass bitch. Talking about love. I'm just wondering, people, I have to look at everything, don't I? I look at the length and the breadth of what's going on here in this dimension. I'm looking deeply into philosophy, deeply into religion, deeply into the spiritual realm, deeply into the matrixial realm, deeply into the ego realm, so deeply and profoundly into any possible avenue, just to glean a little bit more information. And I swear that, you know, my job in this particular Earth sojourn is reconnaissance mission for where I come from. I've been assigned a job to come to planet Earth to discover how it operates. And this information is going back to my alien fucking brethren, and they're going to work out how's best to come to invade and to how to gobble us all up, or fucking something like that, you know. You know, I'm not sure whether it's an anthropological fucking reconnaissance mission. I'm pretty sure it's just so I can see all the fucking failings and the weaknesses that's going on here. But then you see, you could say, well, you just say it's all a dream. Yeah, it is a dream, but it doesn't mean to say that there's not aliens in another star constellation having a fucking dream about coming to invade Earth, does it? It's just, you know, whatever you think of, people, you know, your thoughts become your reality. And so, but what I've always known is that I'm gathering information and I'm paying it forward, because when I'm speaking it out into the ether, it's going into the Akasha. And when I'm speaking it into this phone, it's going into the internet. And so I'm doing two things. I'm putting it out into the cosmos, and then I'm putting it out into this portal. Because enlightened people can receive this information from the cosmos like I have been doing. People who aren't enlightened can't receive that because they don't have the antennae. They can only receive information coming through this portal. So that's why I'm doing it for you guys. Some of you, like me, can receive it from both, and you'll know the distinction between it both, because when you get information downloaded to you, then you feel it being downloaded. You've got an influx, you've got a flow of information. Like when I'm speaking with every single one of my videos, I've got some little notion of what I'm going to be speaking about, but then it goes on and 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 on, and it will never fucking end really until my voice gets tired and I go, hey guys, my voice is fucking tired now, I've got to stop with this bullshit. And that generally happens after about an hour, doesn't it? Pretty consistently. You know, I look up in the fucking time thing and I go, oh fucking hell, it's 50 minutes or 60 minutes, you know. But now it's 30 minutes. On my old phone I never had the timer, but I've got a new phone now, so so what's going on with the Awake and Brave? What's going on is I'm looking at options. I'm looking what else this dimension has to offer me. What could I become? Because when we listen to people and they're telling you that all you've got to do is think about something, and then you'll make it manifest. It's like creating soundboards. And on my fridge I've wrote a few things down. I've wrote down that I have a great singing voice with a range of 3 octaves, and it is a very free and unencumbered voice with no unnecessary tension. So I look at that several times a day on my fridge and I take that on board, and that's conditioning my mind, and my mind is conditioning my whole body, because it's a belief system. The body acts from the belief of your brain, you see. Then I've got another one and it says that my body and my mind are in perfect condition. And so as long as I believe that, as long as I tell myself that, as long as I tell every single cell in my body, then it's inevitable that that's what will manifest, because our thoughts make manifest our reality. It's just a case of whether you think them long enough, whether you believe them deep enough, and all these different sorts of things. Now you can listen to people like Bob Proctor and any other number of relatively modern day guru, and you know, they've been telling this stuff for the past 100 years. And so that's all basically that I really want to do. I really want to be able to sing proficiently and play the guitar in accompaniment at an equal level. Then I want to keep my mind and my body in the tip-top condition, and fuck me, that's the essence of life. I found the secret of life, to enjoy every single second, every fucking day that you know, I'm dwelling in this dimension. What could be possibly better than that? I don't need no $2,000 steaks in a secluded restaurant where nobody's going to disturb me because I'm called Brad Pitt. I don't need that. I don't need any of that bullshit. I just like to be able to walk anywhere on this world without anybody noticing me, and that's why I've travelled so prolifically around the world, because there's nothing more emancipating, people, than walking in the country